I kind of get the feeling, and I asked you to get a little bit closer because I want to really just talk to you. Every week I kind of get a feeling like some of you think I'm holding the really good stuff back. That the really good ideas, the hot button, the one that's going to get you from here to there, is I'm kind of holding on to. So I wanted to kind of change you a little bit. Instead of being so far back, get a little bit closer so that I can give you the really good stuff today. So write this down. A lot of this comes from this book I've been reading, John Maxwell. It's a fabulous book. If you didn't win it this week, first of all, if you won it, congratulations, read it. If you didn't win it, I highly recommend that you go out and spend $15 or $16 and buy it this week. It's 15 somethings of growth. Yeah, something like that of growth. It's a brand new book that John C. Maxwell put out. It's amazing. I shared this earlier, I haven't seen a book like this in a number of years. Every single page has got important information on it. Read it, internalize it, and use it. He says motivation gets you going. Discipline keeps you growing. Motivation gets us going, but the discipline keeps us moving and growing. You have to get up every morning with determination if you're going to go to bed at night with satisfaction. Get it? You have to get up determined in the morning if you're going to go to bed at night satisfied. What he's talking about is if you do what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, even though maybe we didn't make a sale or we didn't take a listing that day, but when we did those activities that we lined out to do at night, we feel pretty darn good about ourselves, don't we? That's what we're trying to do. And the more times you feel good about yourself, the more motivated you are to get up the next morning and do it again. And then that discipline keeps you growing. Because I see people all the time who wake up and work with purpose, who, however, they're inconsistent with their progress. They're not doing it when they're supposed to be doing it. They have a good day, a bad day. They have a good week, they have a bad week. They have a good month, they have a bad month. They're inconsistency with their growth and their progress. They have ambition to succeed, and they know how to do the job. You know who I'm talking about. Some of them are you. You know how to do it. You just don't do it consistently over time. Yet they don't move forward. I think it's because they can master their job, but they do not master themselves. They know how to write a contract. They know how to add 1 and 1 is 2. They know how to show property, but they're not mastering their own personal growth. They're not mastering the things that they're supposed to be doing when they're supposed to be doing. What do I mean? They go to bed late. They get up late. They don't take time out of their schedule to work on the elements and issues of the day. They think they can wing it, and they don't practice, or they don't continue to practice. That's not anyone in this room, right? Say yes.
Yes.
No one, right? No one. You have a chance. This is, by the way, this is the good stuff. I left everything else out at home. Okay? I'm only doing good stuff today. I wrote down your future is dependent on your personal growth. Improving yourself daily guarantees a future full of possibilities. When you expand yourself, you expand your possibilities. Think about this. Most average agents are not enough practiced. Right? Say yes. They don't practice enough. They just don't. That's what average agents do. They don't practice. Most average agents don't have enough product knowledge. They don't preview property. They don't think they have to. I wrote down here, most average agents don't get enough rest so that when they go on a listing presentation or they go on a showing presentation, they're tired. They spent all day doing nothing. It's exhausting. And then they go on a listing appointment and they're tired, mentally and physically. They don't meet enough people. And they don't follow up enough or have a follow-up system. Average agents don't meet enough people. Average agents don't do enough follow-up. The issue with some of us today is that we want it now. I made 10 phone calls. I called 10 expireds. I got 2 at home and nobody listed with me. What the hell's wrong with this program? You guys are being quiet. But that's how you feel. It's about patience. It's about consistency. I wrote down here, the things that are difficult now become easy over time. Write that down. The things that seem difficult now become easy over time. I wrote down, most people never realize how close they are to achieving significant things because they give up too soon. You don't do enough people. You don't follow up with enough people. You don't spend enough time with the scripts and dialogues. It's too hard. It's not me. It's not how I do things. And yet, we have example after example after example in this company of agents that have come from other firms that have bought into some of the scripts and some of the dialogues and some of the systems and have done really well right out of the chute. And then we've had others that don't embrace what we're teaching, what's going on in the company. And they don't get the same results. And then they're frustrated and they're mad at us. When the truth is, they should be mad at themselves for not doing what they said they were going to do when they came on board. We didn't hide anything. We gave you the list. We showed you what needed to be done. We pointed to example after example after example after example after example of people that are doing it right now in this marketplace. We have more agents that are going to hit Centurion this year than ever before in the history of the company. And almost every single one of them without one REO listing sold. Gigantic. Gigantic. Fantastic. Amazing. That's one deal at a time. One past client at a time. One expired at a time. One follow-up at a time. One listing appointment at a time. Example after example after example after example. A strong why will keep you going on the days when you don't feel like growing. Write this question down. Do I have a strong or big enough why? Do I have a strong or big enough why? So let's do the why test. Okay? Do you consistently procrastinate on important tasks? I'll send this out to you later. You don't have to fill it in now. I don't want somebody looking over at yours and copying your answers. Do you consistently procrastinate on important tasks? Number 2, do you require coaxing to do small chores? Number 3, do you perform duties just to get by? Number 4, do you constantly talk negatively about the work you're doing or the work you're in? 5, do efforts of friends to encourage you irritate you instead? Number 6, do you start small projects and abandon them? And number 7, do you avoid self-improvement opportunities? If you write yes, answer yes to the majority of those questions, you need to work on your why. Your why isn't in your face. Because let me tell you something, when you know why you want something, the how is really easy. When you don't know why you want it, it's not so easy. See, we're at a little bit of a disadvantage, we the human race. Why? Why? You want to know? I could tell you. Ask. Why? All right, jeez. Because most of us grow naturally over time from the moment we're born till we're an adult. We have little or nothing to do with it. It's the nature of it's the law of nature. Get it? So you know that when you're born, you're going to, everything put in place, God willing, you'll be 1 year old. At 1 year old, you'll be 2 years old. And you grow, your feet grow, your arms grow, your brain goes. Hopefully in America you go to classes and you go to school, you can get a public education, you can get some information. You know, maybe if your folks want you in another school system, that's cool. They can do that to you. You can grow at a different level. But generally speaking, we grow automatically. We don't grow by design. And that's a problem. Because if you were to take control of your life earlier on and start growing by design, exercise, education, intake of food, career path, career knowledge, where you're going, who you're going to go with, it would make a difference, wouldn't it? We don't do that. And because we're humans, we're at a little bit of a disadvantage. So we have to become aware of it. That's what I'm hopefully doing right now, having you become aware of it, and then helping you focus on what's possible. Vince Lombardi said, once you learn to quit, it becomes a habit. But I don't quit. Well, you quit on doing a schedule. Everybody have a schedule and follow it perfectly? Have you ever created a schedule and then stopped it? You quit. Anyone ever prospect every day, every week, every month, and then stop? And then had trouble getting back to it? You quit. This one I can relate to. Anyone ever go on a diet? And that's it? I'm not eating another taco. And then it's Tuesday tacos. You know what happens there. I don't have to explain that one. You quit working on your scripts and dialogues. Now, some of you have learned your scripts and dialogues to a base degree. And you do okay with it. It gets you by. It gets you by. Kinda. Sometimes. Maybe. But you stopped. You quit. You need to take this to the next level. The great agents, the superstar agents, are constantly working on their scripts and dialogues. Okay, not the basics anymore, because they've internalized that. They've got that. Now they're polishing it, and they're working on it, and they're polishing it, and they're working on it. But let me share something with you. Just like I've told you before, you cannot do trigonometry without knowing how to add and subtract. Do you get what I'm talking about here? You cannot go to advanced scripts without knowing base scripts. You can't go to trigonometry without knowing how to add and subtract. You can't do it. But everyone tries to go to the advanced script first. Okay, I challenge you. Go to trigonometry first. Okay, everybody, we're going to have a trig test. Get out your papers. Get out your slide rules, because here we go. Well, maybe a couple of you would be okay with it because you've gone through the process and learned it. One set of learning skills gets on the next set of learning skills and compounds on the next set of learning skills and then compounds on the next set of learning skills. Work on your scripts and dialogues. I wrote down here, when you make the right choices, however small, when you make the right choices, however small, and you do it consistently over time, it can make a huge difference in your life. Gigantic. example. How about the right choice of saving $100 a week since you were 20 years old? If you saved $100 a week, a lousy $100 a week, since you were 20 years old, and you put it in the bank, and over that period of time, you got 2% interest on that lousy $100. Do the math. So when I was 20, that's 40 years ago. 50 times 40, that's 2,000 weeks. 2,000 weeks. So 2,000 weeks at 2,000 hundreds is $200,000? $20,000. Well, let's say it's $200,000 without interest. Okay? Think about that. Now let me ask you guys. Okay, I'm a little older than some, a little younger than others. But if you had an extra $200,000 today, would that be a little better or worse? But certainly not. I got to tell you something. I have a couple dollars. But if I had another $200,000, it wouldn't be bad. Honest. Okay, in case anybody's curious. It'd be okay. Get what I'm talking about? See, that's the small choice that I could have made at 20 years old that would have made a big difference at 60 years old. How about having one extra taco? This is the result. Okay? This is one extra taco at every meal. You know what I'm talking about there. How about getting up and doing your exercises every morning? So you got saving money, a little bit of money, having a little bit less food every day, a little bit more exercise every day. Small choices daily over time make a big difference. How about talking to, okay, 50 people a day is way, 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 way too many for some of you. 30 people a day may be way, way, way too big for some of you. But what if you talk to 20 people a day, 200 days a year, that's 4,000 people a year. Everybody with me? 20 people a day. You actually talk to 20 people a day. You don't even know it. Okay? Not intentionally, but unintentionally. 20 people a day to 4,000 people a year, and you did that for 10 years. You talked to 40,000 people. Would you list and sell some houses over that period of time? Yes. Absolutely. Small things over time. I wrote down here, discipline is the bridge between your goals and your accomplishments. Discipline is the bridge between the goals and accomplishments, and that bridge must be crossed every day, and every day includes Thanksgiving week.
Can you repeat that one more time?
It includes Thanksgiving week. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments, and that bridge must be crossed every day. I put this all together to make the point to you that care about what you're doing, that I still believe, in the next 25 work days, you can list a great house, find a great buyer, and close that escrow before the end of the year. However, if that doesn't happen, the worst case scenario is it'll close in the first or second week in January, which is probably still okay, yes or no? Yes. In fact, isn't that when the credit card bill comes due anyway? We'll do the deal now. We'll put it on a credit card and have a great Christmas. And then we'll pay for it with our 3 or 4 closings we're going to have in January. What a great plan. It's okay. I'd rather you see you pay cash. But if you can't pay cash, you can pay for the credit card in January. Over time, that daily crossing becomes a habit. And ultimately, people do not decide their future. They decide their habits. And their habits decide their future. That's what we're talking about. If I put $100 a week away over time, that becomes a habit. That habit helps decide my future, helps pay for my kids' education, helps pay for my retirement, helps pay for the vacation or things that I want. Maybe it pays for some surgery, God forbid, if somebody needed something like that. Maybe I can donate it and help somebody else get a leg up. Who knows? $100 a week. $100 a week. Eating a little bit less over time. Exercising a little bit more over time. Talking to a few more people over time. Learning the scripts and dialogues over time. I wrote down here, when you do what others will not do, you can have what others can't. Even Thanksgiving week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Take Thursday off with your families, celebrate, give thanks. Come back to work on Friday. First of all, let me tell you something. Everybody that's going to get that $4 flat screen TV is in line right now. I saw it on the news this morning. They've been in line at Best Buy in Los Angeles for the last week. They give away 2 flat screens for $40. They're going to get them, I'm not. Okay? I wouldn't do that to anybody. Can you imagine? They have a whole line. They expect 4,000 people to be in that line. And the stores are opening Thanksgiving afternoon. The stores are going to be opening Thanksgiving afternoon. Don't worry about it. Here's what I suggest. Instead of worrying about buying a $40 flat screen, why don't you make a deal or two, put it in escrow, and buy your own damn flat screen that you didn't have to stand in line for to wait to get this $40 flat screen. This is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Stop that. Stop thinking in those terms. Work Friday. Certainly in the morning. Spend the morning talking to people. Go out and hit expireds. I wrote down here, plan for the next 4 work days. We have a plan. Go see at least 20 to 50 expireds over the next week. Write that down. Come on, nobody's writing. 20 to 50 expireds. That's 5 a day for 4 days or more. 20 to 50 expireds, old expireds, over the next week. And then door knock 10 around each one. And then along the way, stop to visit previews that you haven't seen so that you can preview property. So now you've previewed property and you've focused on old expireds right now. Do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. By the way, people are going to be home this week. People are home this week. The traffic getting here this morning was half of what I normally hit. It was like a holiday already. Last Monday was like Veterans Day, I think. Was it last Monday? So there was like low traffic because all the government places were closed. So this week, people are just off. So it must be all the real estate agents, I guess. All the other real estate agents. People are home, ladies and gentlemen. They're home. Go see them. If an expired isn't home in the morning, go see him in the afternoon. Go see him in the early evening. Go see those expireds. People run to the store. They're gone for a couple hours to get the ingredients to make their turkey dinners, but they will be back. Talk to them. Share the great news that's out there. The great news is that 2 years or 3 years ago, their house couldn't sell. It was underwater. Today, there's a good chance it'll sell for as much, if not more, than they had it listed for 2 or 3 years ago. A great chance that can happen. Tomorrow's a phone blitz in Walnut and Covina. We need to be packed. Packed, 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 packed. You need to be calling your past client sphere. You need to be calling the old expireds that you couldn't get a hold of at the door. You need to be talking to people. Packed. we're here. We're going to do our morning program from 9 to noon. Well, 8:30 is role play. 8:30 to 9 is role play. 9 to noon is blitz. Noon to 1 is a class. And 1 o'clock, I will be here to do my advanced class. I'm not taking off. I'm running through the finish line with you guys. I'm focused right along with you. You're having trouble getting out of bed? Call me. Actually, I'm calling you. Every morning, 7 o'clock, you should be getting a call from me. If you're not, let us know. It's every morning at 7 o'clock. But I turned it off on Thursday. Okay? I know. I had a debate with Bill, but I just felt you guys would be really, your spouses, not you guys. You guys would think it'd be great. How many people can you meet while you're out talking to these people that might want to list next year? So you're out talking to people, and they don't want to list now. But they said, yeah, maybe I'll do something next year. So what I want you to do is set a goal for yourself to have 10, 20, 30, 50 people that you have lined out that you've talked to between now and next week, or now and the end of the year, our next 25 work days, that's part of your plan, who want to list and sell next year. You already have a jump on everybody. Imagine this. You could have 40 or 50 people that you've already talked to. You've already identified them. You've already started a relationship with them. You are communicating with them. So they already know you and you know them, so that even though in February or March, when they get ready to put their property on the market, and some other guy or gal from another company goes knocking on the door and says, hey, do you know that the market's hot? Yeah, I did. Louis told me. Really? Yeah, I'm actually listing with Louis tomorrow. Well, why don't you list with me? Well, I don't know who you are. You see, you've already spent 3 months getting to know and lock a relationship in with that person, giving them information on a regular basis. So the odds of you losing that at that moment become much slimmer. Do you get this? But you're going to have to work this week. You're going to have to start today. You have to start now creating those lists. I wrote down, how many leads do you need to do 50 deals next year?
50.
How many? 50. Good. I've actually communicated something to you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Because all you really need is 50 great leads. You don't need 1,000. You don't need 4,000. You don't need 8,000 leads. What you need is just to go find, simple, 50 great leads who want to buy or sell